My name is George Pond from Denver Zoo. Now, many of you have probably visited the Asian Tropics construction site and seen many of the buildings on site. What you may not realize is that all of these buildings have already been built once, virtually. Today we're going to talk about the virtual construction modeling that we've done for Asian Tropics. In traditional contracting, you actually get one shot at building something, and if you don't get it right, you pay for it, with at least a lot of pain. In this case, we get to build it in the model first and break it there and get it right before we actually have to dig in the ground. So the virtual construction model allows us to investigate things that are extremely complicated. One of them is in an area we call the rail yard, and here is the filtration building, where all of the pipes for the 1 million gallons of water in the site are returning to the filtration building. We would never be able to get this area right on the first time in the ground. One of the important uses of the model is to solve problems virtually before we actually get out into the world physically. So we call that collision checks. And so we use the model and draw the utilities in and see if there's any collisions. An example of that would be the water line running into the sewer line, and those two things can't occupy the same space, and so we have to move one or both of them to correct that problem. We don't just use this for site utilities, actually. We use it for buildings as well, and we have some very complicated buildings. An example is the elephant building. This building is very complicated, and this is a chance for us to actually have our keepers look at this in a virtual construction before we actually build it physically. So the virtual construction model is an amazing tool. It provides a safe way for us to get things right before we actually have to get out in the field and make costly mistakes.